I'm Maud Modise from the ShopRite Group, and this is On the Shelf, where we talk about what it takes to get your product retail ready. Today we're speaking to Nonhlanhla Chimandamba from Urban Grown, who supply fresh produce into ShopRite. Noni and Siva are a husband and wife duo who supply fresh produce into ShopRite and now employ over 30 people locally. Hi Noni, please tell me a bit more about your background and where your passion for agriculture started.
At the time working in an FMCG, and I was working in infant nutrition. That is where my passion for food security really came, and what are we actually doing about it in the country. I met Simba, my husband, during that time, and he's got a background also in agriculture, but he's mainly in sports management at the time. But we thought, what can we do in South Africa to bring that in where we can actually contribute to food security? And that's how Urban Grown started.
But why the name Urban Grown? Is there something urban about what you're growing?
Everything is urban about it because that's where we were. We were living in the urban areas. That's where we want to actually have our family, which we have now, and we wanted to do our food security, but in the urban areas. We are actually very close proximity to our customers, less than 60 k's away, and come on, this is where we're living. So everything about us is urban, but also the best thing is that our customers, our end users, can have fresh produce that is much closer to them and not coming from way far.
Well, talk about perseverance. I mean, it took you guys 3 years to get listed in ShopRite. Why did it take you so long to get listed?
There's actually a lot that one needs to do to be able to supply ShopRite. I mean, they are the leading...
ShopRite or retail in particular?
Not just ShopRite, all retailers, but ShopRite is the #1 retailer, so we needed to make sure we were market ready. During that time, you have to look at your accreditations, you need to look at your food safety. There are a lot of bits and bobs that you have to put together in order for your product to be on the shelf.
So basically, during those 3 years, as you're getting your food safety, your GAP accreditation, your product specification right, and all of that, what alternative route to markets did you guys use?
While you're working on that, you obviously need to actually still supply. So we were supplying hospitality, we're supplying wholesalers and other small customers, because also you need to start getting your foot in, make sure you have consistency during that time. The market, for example, is a great place to start supplying because our buyers actually walk the market, particularly at Joburg Market. So even when you're supplying in the market, make sure your product is already showing the quality, that it's packed well, have your name, have the right labeling, because when the buyers actually do a walk, see your product there, they actually remember your name when you start knocking.
So basically, other than knocking on their doors directly through the portal and going to them directly, there are other avenues in terms of supplying into a market, wholesalers and different industries.
Absolutely. And the industry is wide, people do talk, so make sure that you've got your right foot forward the whole time. And that way, when you do come knocking, they actually might already know your name.
So Noni, because food safety and food regulations in South Africa is such a topical thing, what are the 3 most important things that you need to comply with as a farmer before you even think of supplying into retail? What are those 3 things or 3 tips that you can just give to suppliers?
We need to remember that we are supplying food. Food goes into people's bodies, so accreditation, quality, that is important. First of all, in the farming side, you need to have global GAP. So that is also looking at traceability, how you are farming sustainably, because also with your water use and also any chemicals you use, you should be able to actually trace that. Also then when you work in the pack house, you need to look at your food safety. Right now we have a FSA accreditation, which means we can pack not only whole product, but we can actually chop and pre-pack products. And that for us was a very important thing to work at, because for ShopRite we supply pre-packed spinach and such, and with that you actually need FSA accreditation. With that, you can also be selling better product, sell product that has better margin, because once product is pre-packed, you can actually charge more for it. So all of that is important. Yes, whole product is very important. We also do that, but just make sure that you have your accreditation right before you come knocking, because that is what will set you apart from all the other farmers.
So there's accreditation, there's whole product, and what you can do on top of it, like your value add services that you can provide as a farmer.
And also, obviously, make sure your product is what they're looking for. I might have a very big cabbage, that is great, but that is not the specification that is on the shelf. ShopRite and other retailers have specifications for all their product, because all the farmers who do produce and deliver to them, once it gets to the shelf, it must be a ShopRite and Freshmark ready product.
So your husband Simba mentioned something about a baby cabbage being a baby cabbage, and it might look good from the outside, like, ooh, this baby cabbage looks so good. But if it's not according to product specifications,
Exactly.
it could be an issue, you said.
Exactly. For example, it needs to be 80 millimeters. You might actually think, oh my gosh, what is wrong with it being this size? It's still beautiful, it's still tasty, but it's still fresh, but it's not the specification. Because Freshmark, and obviously, which is our fresh produce side of ShopRite, when it's on the shelf, they need to make sure that each customer who walks in knows that this is the Freshmark product. And all of them have to be the same. So I can't choose to have one that's 10 centimeters and someone have one that's 8 centimeters, because it all has to be the same quality, the same standard, the same specification.
So tell me, what's next for Urban Grown?
There's so much, but what we're looking at right now, we're supplying mostly pre-packed spinach, but we can do more. With our high care, that was our FSA accreditation, that means we can chop any kind of vegetable. So we can go and have pre-packed pumpkin, pre-packed potatoes, who knows. So product diversification is a big thing. And also we can look into export, because ShopRite, as you know, is in Mozambique and even further up in the continent.
So Noni, just for a last question, what made you not package under Urban Grown and choose the Freshmark route? Is there a better opportunity in there, or was it flexible? Was it a difficult decision for you to make, or were you like, you know what, it's still supplying into retail, it's still meeting my targets, it's still ticking all the boxes? Did you have any difficulty choosing in that?
It is a bit difficult, because you think, why is my name not known? But obviously you have different avenues. When you're doing it in wholesale, in other customers, you can use your brand name. But also, as Urban Grown supplying to ShopRite, I know that my product is going to go to 1 million consumers. So going into ShopRite and making sure I meet their specifications, that's also a major tick.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Noni, for being with us here today. We really appreciate your
It's
time,
a
and we
pleasure.
wish you all the success in the
Thank
future.
you so much.
Thank you.